So, hello everyone. Welcome back to our 2015 live broadcast of the Tata Steel Chess Festival. We have our tournament leader with us, Fabiano Caruana. Fabi, welcome aboard.
Thanks.
How's it? Every time I told you as you walked into the set, every time I see you on some kind of a streak, 2-0, nice beginning.
Yeah, it's a perfect start. Maybe not so smooth today, but yeah, anyway, I couldn't ask for more.
Yes, of course. Well, I was so utterly delighted. First of all, no Berlin Wall, thank God. No Marshall Gambit, an orthodox, straightforward, Rui Lopez, great. We could get back to our classics. And then I was thinking, my God, and still we're having troubles finding clear advantages. Life's not easy in any variation these days.
The Zaitsev is a pretty decent opening.
Yeah.
I played it myself
Here, we
times.
can just... so it's Zaitsev, yeah?
Yeah, the last time I played against Morozevich in 2013, almost 2 years ago. Okay, he played the main line with knight c5. I've also played knight c5 against Vichy and probably some other games as well. a5 was just a bit of a surprise for me, although...
For me too, by the way. I wasn't familiar with that move.
Well, I asked him after the game, and apparently he's played it, which...
How embarrassing.
Yeah.
You're preparing for the guy, and you don't even look at his games, right?
It must have been an old game, because I didn't see it. But
It wasn't in your database?
No.
Okay.
It's an interesting move. I mean, okay, Black wants to play a4 and c6 and save time on knight c5, where the knight would be pushed back by b4.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if a4 is... It looked like a critical move because...
Agreed again. It looked very critical.
I was actually expecting knight c5 here.
Me too.
And I was planning bishop g5, which I can see a computer doesn't like at all. Well, he wants to take, which surprises me because it gives up the center. But
Right.
Probably don't understand it very well. Yeah, okay, in any case, b4 I think is a better version because the knight doesn't have to go to c5. So, because let's say if knight c5 here, bishop c4, c6 I was looking at, and I thought, yeah, I have some stuff like knight g4. I was actually pretty satisfied with my position.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks pretty normal. I mean, I was trying to find ways to not take on f6. I could play knight g3, and the point is always this doesn't work because bishop d5 wins a piece.
By the way, I was very proud of myself. I spotted that tactic. But I had to share it, of course.
The problem is knight c5. And now it really threatens knight takes d5 because after bishop takes bishop g5, the knight bishop on b7 is protected.
Nice.
And if knight f5, at first I was thinking that it's very promising because I saw something like take, bishop takes on e7 and queen g4 wins. Then I realized that knight takes d5 always works. Well, maybe not, he says bishop h6.
Whoa. Okay, that would have been a surprise.
Well,
nice
yeah, I don't
one.
know, maybe knight g3 in that case.
So maybe knight g3 was your first
knight
instinct. Might have been correct after all.
Yeah, if I had seen bishop h6, I might have played this.
Right.
Well, surprisingly, after knight takes b3, just queen takes, and the queen always gets back to the g file. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I was at the start thinking I'm better here, which is, I think, a gross misvaluation.
And that was the point, was I was actually struggling because I didn't think that you were better here. I mean, I needed the next few moves for things to resolve themselves. But then I think that when they did, it was still very, very awkward. It was a tough game.
No, I need to get rid of this knight. If I can trade off a pair of knights, I'm clearly better, I would say.
Yes, well, with your outside pass pawn, weak b4 pawn,
probably positionally winning or something like that. I'll just play
Right.
b3 and at some point I'll attack b4 and
Agreed.
it'll all collapse.
So bishop b5 looked like a very logical, and knight
Yeah,
d2
this
to
is
b3.
absolutely
Oh,
forced.
yes.
Otherwise I'll play knight b3 and it's really bad for him.
Agreed.
Okay, my first intention was to play, I don't know, b3 or something. And I didn't really like this. First of all, yeah, c6 was kind of annoying me. I also didn't like this, and f5 is coming.
Exactly.
Although I thought that maybe I'm sort of holding this, because if f5 I can take a knight e4. But I saw some stuff with c6, which I didn't like.
And somehow you're not ideally placed to take
Black
advantage
is
of the...
not only is black kind of very active, and I'm awkwardly placed, there's even some positional threats like knight on d4, rook on c3 somewhere. And I have to always be careful about d5. So I saw this idea which seemed pretty clever to me. Because at first I was thinking that this is what black should play. But then I realized that I actually have a very fine position. My b-pawn is not easy to get rid of. Because if rook b8 I have queen c6, which is...
Nice.
Knight g4 is stronger, but
yes.
But queen c6 I was pretty happy with. And in the endgame, I mean, I just need my knight on c4.
And it's resigns, yeah.
But of course bishop e8 is the correct move.
Right.
Knight d3.
And here, I genuinely didn't know how to evaluate this position. You thought that you might be much better, whereas I thought it was like...
No, I wasn't sure I was better at all.
Okay, sorry.
The thing is that black might lose b4.
But he might also
break
through with f5.
f5
yeah.
You know, the bishops could get into play, and...
Precisely so.
I mean, I could play queen b3 trying to get it immediately, but I didn't even think I was threatening to take on b4. I mean, a4 is hanging if I trade queens.
Right.
And I thought even something like bishop g5, or, yeah, there's many moves here. I wanted to play a bit more solidly. I was hoping that I might get time to play rook a2. Yeah, the problem is bishop g5 is very important. Otherwise, rook c1, rook c4 is very strong.
Yes, as well as queen d2, queen b4, bishop g5, crucial move, yes.
And, yeah, the problem is that the bishop just stays on this diagonal.
Right.
f5 is coming.
Right, exactly.
So, I didn't like this, so I thought knight f1 sort of stops f5 for the moment. Because now I can take. If rook takes, then queen g4 is very strong. Attacking pieces, attacking the pawn, everything.
Agreed.
Maybe just winning material because of knight g3. Well, there was always the option of playing like bishop f7 or queen b7 because this d pawn is the most important. But it seemed like queen g4, and it's not quite working.
And the glue, everything holds together nicely. Very good.
So, yeah, I guess c6 is a good move. I mean,
if he did, sorry, I will. Yeah, he needs to break. Of course, he has the two bishops, so he needs to break. You just pointed out that f5 takes and queen g4 always kind of leads to those positions where you have the grip. If he plays slowly g6 followed by f5.
Yeah, what's my plan? That's a good
that was
question.
my question.
I was considering rook a2, f5, and rook c2.
Right, so you're going to go rook c2, rook c4, knight b4, slowly. And
one thing I thought was good was here, taking knight b4, but yeah, I just realized that c5 could be a move.
Ooh.
And, okay, I guess it gets into some sort of mess because I have to urgently play like this. Don't ask me what's going on here.
I won't, I promise.
But one thing I thought is that g6 sort of is good for me because after f5, the bishop can't go to g6.
Importantly, yes.
And I wasn't worried here. I didn't think that I would be worse after g6.
No, not at all. I was thinking that as it turned out, the game was just wonderful for you, like queen g4, and you were just like kicking it, so to speak. And I just didn't know if that the move c6 was ill-timed. If he had played c5, let me ask you that one.
Yeah, the question is, do I take or not?
Exactly, that was my question.
I was even considering it out the next move with a loss of tempo, which, I mean...
You mean c6, right moves, and then c5?
No, because I started to realize that I don't have, let's say, g6.
Right.
I don't have many clear ideas here.
Exactly.
I'm also unlikely to be worse.
That's right.
But I thought that I could probably sort of annoy him, stop him from playing f5 and taking with the pawn. Queen d2. Wait, I can't take? Oh,
h5?
And bishop f4, yeah, or bishop.
Oh.
Yeah, this is...
Oops.
Yeah, this is a question, what I'm supposed to do here. In that case, probably queen g4 is... I was thinking that I might... well, first of all, I can consider putting the other knight on c4.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't consider taking. That looks a bit strange to me.
So, no, I wouldn't have played g6, yeah. So you're always going to get a great knight on c4, but then...
No, I mean, I could try to play a5, knight b6, knight c4.
So
I just get my knights in.
So you get okay. So in this position, I
probably
will
the
go bishop
bishop
b5.
bishop comes to b5, and I'll put the knight here, I guess.
Rook to a7, knight to c4. So, but now.
Yeah, again, I'm not doing much here.
Yeah, you'll go bishop a6, maybe rook a7, f7, rook a7, g. You know, now it's going to be student body right. Black has got to move his queen to h6, his rook to f7.
I probably shouldn't play a5 at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say knight c4, g6.
Mm-hmm.
I can also try to play f3 and bring my king to
but
b2.
the whole point, this was a really awkward situation. I mean, it's a hard position to judge because it's so imbalanced to begin with, and you've got such a beautiful trump on c4.
Look, this I don't like for white very much. I don't see any ideas. I don't think black is going to be worse.
Okay.
I also think that I should be able to bring my king to the queen side at some point, and I'll be pretty
Just
safe.
bail.
Yeah.
All
Or
right.
I might just be worse here. I mean,
But then something wonderful happened after c6
f5
occurred.
surprised me. Yeah, there was also the option to take on bishop d7, which I was considering quite seriously. I
That
didn't like
looks
it.
like a good.
Yeah, because the bishop goes here.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, if I get knight d5, knight d4, I'm going to win.
But then he could
yeah,
also
this
take your
bishop
knight.
e3 is
yeah?
important.
Yes.
Rook e3, let's say rook c8,
Yes.
queen d2. I saw his position. I thought maybe I'm okay, or maybe not.
And both players would probably be pleased. I mean, black is pretty okay.
Yeah,
white
black is absolutely fine.
Yes, exactly.
F5 was very interesting and very ambitious.
And probably ill-timed, with the benefit of hindsight. At the time he was doing this, by the way, it did seem.
I was very worried.
Yes, exactly. With understanding, yes.
Okay, the thing is that if he gets d5, e4, I'm just busted.
Clear.
And let's say he starts with e. Oh well, actually, let's start with d5, knight e3, and e4.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that I can take. And if queen e5, I take on b4, I attack his bishop, and I'm up a bunch of pawns. And if rook d8, I have queen g4, and I think this is very important. That I don't lose a piece. I can break up his center.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about this moment. I was thinking about e4 first. I was going to play knight e3.
Mm-hmm.
And if bishop f6, I thought I have rook c1, which looked pretty good.
That's cute.
And if bishop c3, knight d5, yeah, this I saw, and it looks
Cute
like
again.
The problem is that here, black is probably just going to resign soon.
Exactly.
'Cause
Oh,
just,
massive positional
so-
overkill. Yeah.
Yeah, and rook 6 I thought about. If queen g4... What's that? Rook f6. Oh, that's nice, because of rook g6. Actually didn't see that. I was thinking about bishop d7. This is what I was calculating. But rook f6 is really, really nice. Yeah, I guess rook f5 was a critical move. I'm not sure what's going on. I was planning queen g4, and if he had played rook f6, this
You would have been a little surprised.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great move because it also protects the bishop.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, I guess rook f5 was the best move.
He must have missed rook f6 as well.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, okay, e4, knight d5 is what we just saw. This d4 is, I mean, I thought maybe here, maybe here. I'm just getting my knights out.
Right.
d4 is, generally speaking, not what he wants to play.
Well, it's sort of like you've forced him to accelerate his play. It's like he's got the two bishops. He wants to build, but you're putting so much pressure. You're forcing the situation. When he plays a move like d4, you've got these nice choices of knight g4, knight c4. It's all going in your favor.
The farther up his pawns go, I mean, I get some squares for my knight as well. If
Exactly.
he plays e4, I'll get the d4 square, which, okay, e4 is generally speaking what he wants because my knight will be killed.
But unfortunately, knight d5,
yeah.
the tactics are working, yeah?
I was even considering something like this, and e4, just to kill my knight, but I wasn't worried because I mean, I have this d4
Great
square.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be worse. And my knight
Agreed.
can eventually get out. at some
Agreed.
point.
Agreed.
Yeah, and queen b7 is a bad move, but I might already be better here. But after knight d3, I didn't see any defense for him. It's just collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
d4, he can't take because queen g4. Well, there's other things as well, but this is pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if e4, I'm getting
E6
getting
now.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything for him.
Right. And queen g4, after I saw the move, because of course if he can play d4 and he's threatening bishop g2, he's full of ambition, but queen g4 is just like one of those moves, a cold shower, just like it kills. It defends g2, hits g5, hits b4, you're picking up all kinds of tempi, and the position simply collapses very shortly.
I think
here.
it's probably close to losing, if not already losing.
Right.
I was seriously considering this. The point is, if knight takes b4, and
Cute.
and if queen takes b4, e4, I mean, maybe I can play this ending, but I lose an exchange, and at least black gets something for it.
But at this moment, you already have 2 pawns, yeah? Or
No, only one pawn at the moment.
Oh, pardon me.
But yeah, I mean, first of all, I can just bring my knight to e6, which is very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at something like queen b6, knight e6, rook f7, rook d1. Or
Looks nice.
Well, any move here, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, just knight on e6 is
my knight
superb.
came from b2 to e6, so it's quite an improvement. And it's pretty important I can take with the pawn.
I thought this was a very fine recapture, by the way. I mean, everyone wants to play rook e3, but I thought f takes e was really nice.
The thing is that
nice finesse.
e4, which is the move he would play after rook e3, I'm gained to e6 and then to d4, which is devastating.
And then you're really happy that you have a pawn on e3 when you have a knight on d4 suddenly. It's really very support.
Here I thought that queen f7 was maybe a decent try.
Okay.
And the point is that d4 is the main idea, not to take on f5, but to play d4.
And take on
Let's
b3
say here
perhaps,
bishop d7, and d4 is just a very annoying threat. So I wasn't sure if rook f1, which is the move I wanted, then d4 I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Although something like f6 should be very good.
Yes.
I mean,
true.
it feels like white is close to winning here.
Right.
But okay, bishop d7 just loses, I think. Just taking another pawn. And he's not getting f5 because here I'm going to take on d5.
Right.
I was thinking about queen a6, knight c5, queen d6, but I guess e4 again. It's more or less like the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was a bit hesitant to play g4, but I didn't see any way to get my king. I mean, my knight is very strong.
Well, it's not only that you're 2 pawns up now, but you've also got this really nasty queen d6 that he really has to deal with. He just simply can't allow queen d6, which, by the way, not only protects your king somehow along the diagonal, but just collapses the center that much more. So here it was really gone.
d4, I thought e4 is winning.
Simply.
Bishop c6, and I thought even knight f2 or something. I mean, it's very solid. I wasn't sure knight c5 or knight f2.
Right. Agreed.
Queen a6. Yeah, when I saw this e4, I was pretty happy about it because I thought now my queen is even going to be able to get into defense at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Else,
It's just it's over. And if rook c6 or something, I'll play knight d3 or take on d5. If rook c7, knight d3 is pretty important, but trade queens and win.
Agreed. Yeah.
And now it's just over. Taking a third pawn. If he takes on d5, I play queen c4 and trade queens, and
that's it. That's simplest. Yeah. But I also thought I liked your move. Okay, it's overwhelming, and I don't mean to be too complimentary, but queen e1 at the end was really, really good. I mean, it's just like, your queen on b4 is nice, but queen on e1, no more threats, end of discussion.
No, the good thing now is that I can't even blunder.
Yeah, exactly. You prevented yourself from blundering.
I protected everything.
Exactly. And then knight e6, knight e4, just everything is in your favor. So a very smooth win against a player who, by the way, has gotten very good. I mean, he deservedly belongs in the A group from his performance last year. In the Olympiad, he played, I thought, really, really, really well. And have you played him before? Was this your first? By the way, we've got these great stats, and it's kind of interesting. First question for you. Against the field, how do you, in all the games that you've played against the field, what do you reckon is your score overall? +1, +2, -6, 8, plus?
I'd say it's probably like +5.
Okay. Against the field, how many games do you reckon you have against the field?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Okay, let's bring it up. And the survey says, here you go. You've played 99 games against all the players in the tournament. You have a +3 record. Your favorite opponents seem to be Hu Yifan and Timur Rajabov, and everybody else are -1.
I'm a bit surprised that how am I -1 against Ding Liren? I thought I beat him yesterday. Was I really
pre-tournament? This is the stat before.
Where did I lose to him? I don't remember playing him.
You don't even remember playing him. Well, we've got a game that's not in your database.
No, it probably is. I have quite a poor memory. No, I mean, I know my score against Magnus and Levon.
That's clear.
I thought I was +1 against Wesley, but...
So according to the database that we have, you've never played Ivan, so it was actually your first with Sarish.
I think I played his brother, if he has a brother, or maybe it's just a very common name. There's an Ante Saric, who I played in the Metropa Cup. I'm not sure if they're related.
Right. Well, 99 games, so it seems that you've had experiences against every player except 2. So 2 players and Ivan today, and a very, very nice game, Fabi. You're looking good at the start. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thanks.
It was
Thanks
really,
for having
really good.
me.
Absolutely. And good luck for the rest.
Thank you.
Thank you.